What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again. You guessed it, with another video. Let's get right into it. Everybody hit the subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button. All right, this is about to be a very powerful video. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, let's get right into it. The psychological effects of gang stalking and why only victims of the behavior understand. Let's get into it. The psychological effects of gang stalking will cause its victims, its survivors to feel paranoid. It'll cause them to be irritable. It'll cause them to be not trusting. I forget the name of the disease, but it'll cause the person to develop a mental illness of becoming a shut-in. The person will just want to stay inside because that's where they feel safe. All right. It'll make the person not like people, not want to meet new people. It'll make the person be weary of meeting people. They won't be trusting of new people who enter into their life. And all that is an evil plot to make you have less quality of life, to make you not have friends, to make you not want friends, to make you not be an outgoing person, to make you not live a normal life. All right, they want you because you're such a powerful person and because you have such an impact, and they don't want you to have that much influence or that much impact on people. They want you to just stay inside. They want you to give up, and they want you to be a recluse. All right, they want you to be a shut-in, and they don't want you to be outside shining your light, enjoying life, having experiences, meeting new people, and trusting God, trusting life, trusting that you're safe, trusting that you're protected. All right. They want you to feel unsafe. They want you to feel scared. They want you to be worried every time you leave your house. All right. But the reason only why the victims understand the psychological effects is because people, when you try to explain these things to people, hey, the reason why it's hard for me to be around people is because I'm under a lot of pressure. I'm under a lot of stress. People say, oh, everybody's under pressure. Everybody's under stress. Everybody goes through life. The things you try to explain to them, they don't understand the level that you're dealing with them. To them, it may just seem annoying. They don't understand that you're being traumatized by and mentally harassed by these things. They don't understand that you're being tormented when these things happen to you because they're repeat offenders. They just keep doing it and doing it, and they keep doing it well because they don't want to stop, and they want to keep doing it until they affect you negatively. All right. And that affects a person's mind. That makes a person irritable. That makes a person be irritated. All right. That makes a person not like people like everybody else does. Oh, why are you so upset? Why is this person so irritated? Why is this person so mad all the time? You need to calm down. You need to relax. Some people are gaslighting you when you say that, and other people are just unaware. But still, it's like it's a trigger to you. It's like you're telling the person to calm down and relax, but the person who is doing the abusing is causing them to be in that state of anguish and anger and stress. So those are the psychological effects. People will be telling you that that's not happening. All right. People will be telling you that you're not experiencing that. And after a while, you could even lose family and friends because people are tired of hearing the same old story of somebody's following you, somebody's watching you, somebody's stalking you. And now that even induces more trauma because it makes you feel even more alone. All right, you already feel alone because no one understands you. And then the people that are close to you, you're trying to get them to understand, they're done hearing it. They're tired of hearing it. They don't believe it. They don't think it exists. All right. And what's even worse is when you have people in that will be in your family that are doing these things to you and still denying that they exist as well. Because once you've been haunted by a person that's related to you, once you've experienced any type of treatment that you wouldn't expect from somebody that's related to you, you never forget it. And you definitely are confused by it and thrown off by it, because people who are related to you, you're supposed to receive good treatment from them. You're supposed to have a good experience with them. Not perfect, but a good one. You know what I mean? So the psychological effects of gang stalking, when people don't believe that something is happening to you and you're trying to explain it, that does damage to a person, because it makes the person doubt themselves. All right, it makes the person doubt themselves. Is it me? Am I causing this issue? Am I the one that is having this problem? Is it just me? Do I need to go see a doctor? Is there something I could take to make people stop stalking me? No, there's nothing you could take to make people stop stalking you. There are some people who need medicine for certain psychological issues. All right, that they may be going through, but that's different. That's different than every time you leave your house, you see a red car at the end of the street. That's different than every time you walk down the street, three people riding bikes always pass you. That's different than routines. That's different than noticing routines and patterns. Something that you could get from a doctor or some type of medicine, is not going to stop people from targeting you in the form of a routine or a pattern throughout your day, trying to make your life experience not normal. All right, that's not going to change that. So that's why nobody is going to understand. And there have been cases where victims, or where have people have went to seek help and talk to psychologists, and the psychologists have told the victim, yes, you are being stalked. You could look that up. There's cases where the person got the doctor to agree with them with what they explained, and in more cases than not, that the doctor agreed with this person and was like, yes, you are being stalked. And that, like, the person was able to take the people to court. The person was able to get the people to stop or get a restraining order. So only people who are going through this type of abuse, this type of harassment, will understand. So you can't go to other people trying to explain your situation. You're going to have to go to people, or you're going to have to talk to somebody who understands, or you're going to have to seek out a real psychologist, which I suggest you should do both. If it's that bad, if you feel that it's that much pressure on you to where it's really embarking on your peace of mind and your sanity, then you need to go talk to somebody, then do it. But if anything, I would pray, because you never really know. I've seen cases too where people have tried to go get help, and then it ends up not turning out the best. So before you go seek help, I would pray. But if you feel like you can't do it on your own, or if you feel like it's too serious, or like it's an emergency, then definitely, for your emergency, then definitely go get some help. Maybe go take care of that. But if it's just people following you and people stalking you, and you know that to be true, or you know that you're not just seeing things, and that is happening for a fact, then I wouldn't suggest that. But the psychological effects of the gang stalking will leave the victim feeling like there's always somebody watching them, or there's someone always over their shoulder. And that's what they want you to experience. They want you to, even when they're not there, they want you to still be feeling the pressure from the abuse that they left you with. They want you to constantly be thinking about that. They want it to constantly be on your mind. All right, and these are the effects of this abuse. And it leaves the people in a state of depression. It leaves the people in a state of worry. All right, they're not sure if it's going to happen to them again. They're not sure who they can trust, because they're not sure who's uh, who's a gang stalker or not. They're not sure if this has been planned out by somebody. They're not sure if somebody sent this person, because believe it or not, people do get sent in people's lives because they see you taking a particular path, and they may not want you to take that path. They may be jealous of you because, oh, because you're going down a righteous path and they're not going down a righteous path. They may want to stop you just merely because they see you going to God. They want to see if they could get in your way and get in God's way and take you in another direction. But the reason why only the victims understand is because this is a hard thing to deal with, right? When going through this and nobody understands, nobody's there, and you're the only one to deal with it, and it's just you and God, then you have a certain understanding of a certain truth that a lot of people don't. And it's like, I know this is true. I know this happened to me. And people are trying to tell me that it didn't happen. It's like a slap in the face. And no, like, nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to deal with something happening to them and then people telling them that this isn't happening to you, and then on top of that telling you should go get help. Like, that's one of the worst things that a person could experience. It's like these people are really trying to break you down, and that's why only the victims understand, because people just think that things are just happening in your life, or you're just going through things in life. It's like people are purposely seeking you out. People are purposely targeting you to try to break you down psychologically. Like, they'll do things to you every day to try to make you break, to try to make you go get help, to try to make you feel a way you wouldn't normally feel. And that's all it is. If they weren't there, you wouldn't be experiencing these things. If they would leave you alone, you wouldn't be bothered. And that's all it is. If they weren't there to bother you, you wouldn't have these problems. So since they are there and they're the one causing the problem, how could what you're experiencing not be true? Think about that. And that's why it's important to write these things down. Even if you're not going to report it, when you experience things, write it down, because, like, that happened. All right. And if you feel you need to videotape it too, do that as well, because these things happen. It's only people who aren't aware, and people who are enablers, and people who are doing the devil's work themselves that'll say they don't know. All right. So one out of the three you can't have any issue with, because the people aren't even aware. They don't know. And two out of the three, those are the only ones that you need to be concerned about, because they're enabling people. They're just turning a blind eye to it, and the other ones are actually doing it. All right, but only the people who are going through this are going to understand. People who aren't going through this aren't going to understand. All right, people who are going through this aren't going to understand. It's only the victims who are going to get it, because they're the ones being stalked. They're the ones being watched by people on a day-to-day basis, and you're going to tell them that they're not experiencing that. I mean, that's cool. That's how people feel. But at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you know what's going on. You know what you're experiencing in your life, and you know what types of things are happening to you throughout your day. People know what types of things are happening to them throughout their day. It's like a red bird just flew past you, and then somebody's like, "No, it didn't." You're just like, "Yeah, I just saw this red bird fly past me." No, it didn't. You didn't just see that cardinal? No, I didn't. I didn't see the cardinal. And they'll look at you with like those soulless eyes. No, what are you talking about? And you're just like, yeah, that's complete BS. All right. And like the gaslighting, the self-doubt, the making you feel like you can't trust yourself, having to go through that, and still being like, and still surviving through that, and still being able to fight through that, and still being able to keep your grasp on reality. You have to give yourself a pat on the back, and you got to give God a pat on the back, and give God all the praise. Okay, because you're going through something that only you understand. You're going through a certain walk that nobody else is going to get except for you and the people that are going through what you're going through. So chances are slim to none about everyday people, you being able to speak to somebody, or have some type of common ground, or make a connection with somebody on this. If you can, if you do, more power to you, God bless you. But it's going to be more people that don't understand what you're talking about, or don't understand what you're experiencing, than are. Just for a heads up. But there's still hope, and because there still are people out there that do know what you're going through, so don't let that discourage you. All right. But just wanted to make this video on the effects of the gang stalking. Like, it'll make people have depression, it'll make people want to stay inside, they'll make people not want to have friends. They want to destroy your life, and they want to lower your quality of life. And when people are going through this, and people are trying to tell them that they're not being attacked, it's a mind f. All right, it's a mind fuck. And it's like, people are people playing with me? Like, are people playing with my mind? Makes a person angry, makes a person irritable, makes a person not trusting. Because it's like, who can you really trust when you see groups of people that are trying to, um in a never-ending effort, trying to make you have a bad day, as many times, or as many chances as they can. They want to try to make you have a lower quality of life. So I know that you might be the only person that understands what you're going through. I know other people who are going through what you're going through may be the only people who understand. Your family may not understand. That may be hard. Your friends may not understand. That may be hard. The person who you were seeing, dating, may have left because they were stressed of tired of hearing about what you were going through, the stalking, all these things. That may be hard. But guess what? If you're the only person that understands, God is right there with you. God understands. So if nobody else understands you, God understands, and that's all you need. And that's who's going to be there for you to help you through these things. That's why I always say count on God, because God will never leave you nor forsake you. When your girl don't understand, God's there. When your dude don't understand, if you're a girl, God's there. When parents, when family, people don't understand what you're going through, God's there. When them hating people on your job trying to take you out, God's there. All right, when the people in your neighborhood jealous of you for God knows what, trying to give you a hard time just for living in the same area as them, God is there for you. All right, so these have just been some of the psychological effects of the gang stalking, and we're gonna have videos on healing. We're gonna have videos on more videos on finding peace, and more videos on how to prevent yourself from uh, taking in the damage from these attacks, from these weirdos, and from these sickos. All right, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting the share button. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. And I will see you all in the very next video. This has been another DruuTube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels.